Good morning. Welcome to today's speech called Who Killed John F. Kennedy and Why? That's the question I pose you, the audience, this morning as we delve into this subject. And I just want you to understand that even though the research is kind of vague, I want you to open your mind and I try to expand on a lot of the stuff that I'm talking about. I want you to look at the things, the evidence that I present to you, and I want you to clear your mind a little bit and kind of answer it on your own. I want you to put two and two together. In the end, we'll come to a conclusion. But will it be relevant? Will it be right? Will it make sense? Or basically, simply, the answer to the question will never be answered. But isn't it fun to try to put all this stuff together? Absolutely. Because one, in the end, we could put it all together all day, but we have to present it to a grand jury, and the grand jury is never, ever, ever going to buy off on it. So, some of the things we're going to talk about this morning, I'll give you my top 10 things that I've seen out there that should be somewhat evidence or help you to answer the question. These are the 10 things that I want you to use to try to answer the question, who killed Kennedy and why? I think some of this stuff's pretty relevant. I think some of this stuff's pretty good. And I think that you can put enough stuff together to make this work. But I totally leave it up to you. I want you to take this time, think back to 1963, what that day was like. Put yourself there. And I want you to actually physically remember that. What can you see? What can you not see? Why was it such a... Do you think Lee Harvey Oswald could have got 3 shots off that quick from that building and be that precise? Or was he just somebody that was just being framed? Those questions will be answered one day. Not by me, not by you, but as government rolls along and those secrets are protected, how long will they be protected? And why were they protected? Who continues to hold the secret? That's the greatest thing about this mystery. Who holds the secret? Who's going to tell? Who is going to give up that big information one day and the world goes, oh, wait, who's John F. Kennedy again? Because it's going to be that long. So before, without further ado, there are some things that I did not even know. I didn't know that President Clinton had put a board together, a review board, basically to go into this. These are powerless judicial they were just powerless from a judicial standpoint, and they just wanted to appear credible yet controlled. Their mission was to convince the American people that the government's not withholding any documents. And you and I both know that's not true, so we've heard that lie many, many times. One other thing to remember about this is professional assassins, they don't leave records behind. They don't leave trace. They don't leave notes. They don't take notes. They don't do any of that stuff. Professionals do not do that. Do not leave a trace, a sound, where they've been, where they're going, where they've been. How are they going to get there? They don't do that. They walk in, they do what they got to do, and they leave. So, for further ado, let's get into the questions that we all came here to answer today. Now, some of the things to think about is, who was Kennedy? Where he came from? Now, he comes from a place called the elite. The elite basically is players in the international high finance circle. Since this goes back to the early days of Joseph Kennedy. John F. Kennedy was basically elected to office through monetary power and with the help of the mafia. And I want that point to sink in real quick as I just pointed that out. I want you to think about this as we go through the next nine things here. Remember what I just said. monetary and mafia. Two things that you're going to continue to hear throughout this. I want you to really pay attention. All right. But just remember, without the total support of other members of the elite, he probably would have never became president. Why? Because he just didn't have the backing. And that holds a lot of things to be pretty cool, right? Or true, or whatever at this point. So it's something to think about. Number two, JFK and his brother, Robert, they went on an attack they went on a thing to attack organized crime in an effort to expose the mafia to the public and curtail its power. So think about that. What I just said in the beginning. And what I just talked about now. Start throwing the reasons together. JFK and Chicago mob boss. Basically, they shared the same mistress. Judith Campbell. All right. And the mob boss, Yakiana, basically helped JFK win the election in Illinois and on the East Coast. So you think about that. As they share the same mistress, as he goes after the mafia, as the bosses come together to try to, as him and his brother try to attack the mafia and take it down. Why? So now you see all the things that are playing together in the government, right? Yeah, let's continue on. All right, since 1942, the CIA and the mafia have worked together in numerous clandestine operations. Not really much to talk about on that. Just basically let the CIA and mafias work together. And most people who do the research, you'll figure that out. You'll find that out. All right, JFK refused to allow CIA and American troops to attack Cuba, thereby creating the infamous Bay of Pigs fiasco in 1961. Following that incident, General Charles B. Campbell, Deputy Director of the CIA, went around Washington calling President Kennedy a traitor. Wow, right? CIA solicited the services of the mafia to kill Fidel Castro. Yeah, international bankers that have controlled America over 100 years. And it even talks about the Vatican Bank, CIA operatives, the public execution. This was done. It was accomplished by three-man mafia CIA firing squad and associated with the past Lee Harvey Oswald. Those were all the people the players that were involved in that. All right. In 1963, JFK was preparing to amend national labor laws, statutes. These are International Revenue Service statutes that would prevent foreign flag shipping from being exempt from American income taxes. These amendments would have seriously affected Liberian shipping magnates and the assets of men such as Aristotle. Billions of dollars from were to state. President Kennedy was killed just 3 days before he was going to make these amendments public. So what does all this tell you as we come to an end? Did you come up with any kind of conclusion about what you know? So far we know the CIA, we know the Mafia, we know Lee Harvey Oswald. So as you read into these things, who all are players? Who all are players in this organization? Can you answer that question? Can you answer the question I posed to you? Can you take the information I give you and answer that question? Could I give you stats? Could I give you statistics? Absolutely. Could I give you how many shots were actually fired, how many actually hit? 2. 2 shots hit. First one in the throat, second one